welcome to River City Rabble with episode 2 here. I'm Ed Chirico.
I'm Max Sanchez.
And we have a special guest with us,
Aaron Arbor.
Aaron Arbor. So we brought somebody else along to kind of help us out because we don't have a lot of tech information, you know,
No.
a lot of our stuff is all software anytime
just
we talk
play
about
with
things.
shit.
Yeah, we just
fucking
play.
really look at things.
We don't research
That's all
this
we
shit.
really do.
Don't think that we're a professional crew here. We definitely don't put a lot of effort into that. So we brought Aaron along to kind of like help us out with having like a bit of a discussion on that. So Aaron, you want to tell the people a little bit about yourself, kind of who you are, where you're from, what you like to do?
Well, I'm Aaron. I'm sort of known as the pessimistic tech guy. I hate Apple with a passion, like Steve Jobs. That's just my thing. You will hear a lot about that if I'm on more.
Yes.
I'm very passionate about technology. I like building computers. I like building any sort of electronics with soldering, stuff like that. I'm really into politics and yeah, I guess that's it.
I think it's more anything that you can just tell to fuck off. You're really into that shit.
I'm pretty into that.
Which is good. I respect it. I appreciate where you come from with that, being a little punker myself when I was a kid.
Also, a little rage comes in handy now.
It's got me through some tough situations.
Yeah,
like, I don't know, baby christenings. Rage is perfect for it. So it's been a very busy couple of weeks since our last podcast. There's been a lot of things that have happened.
Yeah, I guess let's just start off with just what's everyone been like playing and or watching.
Did you find porn on the computer?
I know,
or something?
right? Like, something's going on here. Some
Fucking
chick's
ads.
talking.
There you go.
Okay, so I guess I'll start off with. So I guess lately I've been mostly just playing this fucking game I've been obsessed with. So I used to be, I think you know, I used to love Call of Duty and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Rainbow Six Siege though, fucking
how is
love
that?
this game, dude. It's so fucking good.
I've never really gotten into the Rainbow Six games. I always thought of them as almost too technical for me. It sounds stupid,
Well,
but
because
like,
they're
you know,
all like one death rounds, really.
yeah,
So
definitely.
once you're dead, if you die within the first 5 seconds, you're pretty much just watching.
Which
them.
happens to me every time I
Yep.
play any fucking first-person shooter. I'm dead instantly. Except for Bioshock, because there's
But on the
nobody fucking
plus
against me.
side, when you are like massacring dudes, so like on one round, that is pretty damn satisfying. So this fucking game, I've been loving the shit out of it because it's super tactical. You have to really like strategize, think about like how you're protecting things. There's different.
You got to work with the people that you're playing with, right?
You can, which helps out a lot more. But I mean, honestly, you can really kind of just do things on your own. It's all just about fortifying, having the right classes because there's attack classes, defender classes. So fucking loving this game. Can't recommend it
That's
enough.
a game I would be interested in. And it's just it seemed to me like it was one of those games where you really needed to have a squad or people play with you.
Like I said, it really benefits from that. Because like
Yeah.
on the one day, like I actually feel like putting on the microphone.
Yeah.
If you talk to the guys, like, hey dude, I need you to do this. And if
Yeah.
you don't get an asshole, yes, it is actually a ton of fun to do that.
See, and that's
So-
my biggest problem is like anybody that I play games with, they're all fucking RPG nerds. None of them want to pick up a fucking FPS.
See,
which
I
is,
love the shooting.
yeah, and I love shooting games too. I can never do it in a group setting, which fucking
really good
sucks.
one. Honestly, I would recommend this. Just give it a shot.
I've been playing Battlefield 4 for like since release, and I still don't have a squad or anything really to play with. I'm
Yeah.
just more of a solo gamer.
Which is understandable, and something like Battlefield's really easy to do something like that, though. Like,
it's a little bit squad based, but
But it's-
probably not as much as Siege.
It's not always fun just putting on the microphone with random
Yeah,
people, though.
that's
It's
true.
kind of like, dude, just fuck off. I
You get the
really
12
don't.
yeah, see, I was just gonna say, a
Everyone
6-year-old
is
that just
fucked with your
fucking
mom.
just tells you off while you're playing. It's
Yep.
like, man, I'm in my 30s. I don't need to be told off by a 6-year-old, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home.
But it'll happen. It's gonna happen.
I'm gonna go in the other room and cry for a little bit. And
Although,
I'll
honestly-
be back and I'll fucking die to you again. But I will cry for it first.
I will say this though, Sony Network's way better than Xbox Live. Just for that reason though, just that alone, the fact that
Yeah.
there's way more kids play on Xbox Live than there are on PlayStation.
I'd say you think it would be the other. Well, I guess they're both paid now. You have to pay for both of them.
You do have to pay for
yeah,
both.
you
But
do.
I think the thing that kind of goes into that is the fact that for like longest time, the 360 was super easy for a parent to buy for their kid if they were going to buy them.
I think Microsoft really was good at targeting the parents for the kids more
With
so
the
than
Kinect.
PlayStation.
Definitely.
when
yeah.
the Kinect happened, that's when all
Yeah,
of
that's-
this
There's a lot of very specific laws in Canada where you can't do advertising to children.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't
gotta
have to
be-
like, hey parents, look at this cool new thing.
Get this for your kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
You
necessarily
can't
about the kid.
advertise directly
When I was a
to
kid, it was like fucking crack. You know,
Oh,
they would
yeah,
they
okay.
didn't have these laws in place. They would just jam shit down kids' throats.
Oh,
like
yeah.
McDonald's was all about that. I don't even think you can advertise the McDonald's toys anymore
Oh, really?
for the kids. Yeah, because it makes the kids want to go to it. When I was a kid, it was always like the advertisements were like, "Oh, you can get this fucking toy at fucking McDonald's." They're all pieces of shit, garbage, but they still marketed towards the toys, and that was McDonald's fucking biggest thing is they would target kids at a young age so that it has that comfort feel when they eat. now they're adults. They want to feel like a kid again.
I
They go
remember
back.
that back in the day with Burger King when they
Yeah,
had
they
the
did that too.
Inspector Gadget toy.
Yeah, that
those
happened
DK
too.
Kid things
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, they always had those type of things like that. So
How much does that Inspector Gadget toy go for now?
I have no idea.
You know what? Though
They
there
don't
has
really-
to be some rare ass line.
Yeah, well, there is, but I
has
mean,
to
if you
be.
think about the way that it works, though, like that stuff isn't mass. It's meant to be like really distributed out. Like, look at how easy it is to find the Nintendo toys
course.
from McDonald's now. It's
Those,
fucking, I
Mario-
find them all over the place.
Oh yeah, those like
Little
retro
pop-up ones and
Yeah,
stuff,
see, I
yeah.
fucking love those, but you do meet those guys, those collectors, like, oh, these are worth like $20. I'm like,
Yeah, they're worth $20 if you fucking want to buy them for $20.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
What
Really,
do they
$5?
actually sell for, right?
$5.
Yeah, $5. Okay, so we got some pretty serious
Yeah,
topics
kinda.
here. Yeah, we're kind of going off topic. Last little thing I'm going to say, the thing I've been playing recently, Citizens of Earth. I
how
got
is
into
that?
that. It's great. It's on PlayStation right now for $4 if you're a Plus member.
I've been waiting for like a good sale.
That's as good as $4.
So I hear very Earthbound-esque.
Super Earthbound game, super good. The difference is you're the vice president of Earth, and instead
Al
of
Gore.
yeah, you're Al Gore. Instead of fighting the matches, you recruit people to do all your fighting for you. That's the whole idea of it. So it's really cool though, really interesting. I haven't gotten too far into it. I'm like on the third, fourth chapter. Good game. Recommend it to anybody out there that kind of wants to play it. Aaron, anything you've been playing recently? Or?
I've been playing Rust, which is another one of those pre-alpha kind of walking sim. It's like Minecraft, but it's got guns and shit, and it's
sweet.
way better than Minecraft will ever be.
We're on pre-beta with that one right now.
Or pre-alpha, actually.
Pre-alpha, really?
Yeah, it's one of those early access games.
I've been hearing
which-
about Rust for like 2 years now. though.
It's changed a lot. Apparently, there's like Legacy Rust, which is a lot different than Rust is today.
So at what point does it no longer become the beta and it's just the fucking game if it's been out for 2 years?
When they have enough content and stuff. Where
So
it's
they're not really at that
buggy
point
as
yet.
hell.
And you know what? This
Okay.
kind of goes back to that thing we were talking about last time, where it's like, when you're introduced to this cycle so fucking early, you don't realize
Yeah.
how much work goes into these games.
Yeah, exactly.
You really
Like,
don't.
I've been following and backing the Friday the 13th game now, and it's like the most buggiest thing I've ever fucking
Yeah.
seen.
Well, do you remember DayZ?
Yeah. Oh, DayZ was a terrible
That is-
launch. That was one of the worst launches. That's like,
That's still pre-alpha.
well, I guess so, eh?
That's I
When it hit Steam, though, like I always thought of that as being a release game. Like people paid money to get it.
that game is stuck in development hell. There has been more development in Rust in like the month I played it than in like the 6 months I played DayZ.
But it
Wow.
seems like a lot of more modders have been kind of touching DayZ more than
Yes,
the
that is for
fucking
sure.
official guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is very relative to one of our topics on here is the open betas. Like, what's the purpose of them? It does help to a degree, but like there are instances like for instance, we had a beta of Street Fighter V that came out about 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and right now I just bought Street Fighter V. It's a great game, but there's nothing to it. There's no single player. There's a local player that you can do matches. Right now, I have only played one online match because I can't connect to anybody. There is no
player
area.
base?
Yeah, no player area. Like it just doesn't work. And then there is no match that you can just play against the computer where it's round 1, round 2, done. Everything is a single round if you don't play online.
Yeah.
So it's kind of getting a little terrible. Like they're giving me a quarter of a game, and then next month they promise the other quarter of the game, and then another quarter
That's
a
how
couple
they
months
do it,
later.
yeah.
Well, there's two ways a company can use a beta to their advantage, right? Either to suck the person in to make them buy the damn thing, which is actually what happened with me in Rainbow Six Siege.
Mm-hmm.
Playing that beta, I was like, you know what? It's free, whatever, I'll give it a shot. I really had no intention of buying that game. And then literally the week of the release, the beta was done, I was like, shit, I fucking want to play that game
I gotta
still.
get this, right?
I gotta go buy the game, and instantly, that's an instant sale for them. And then you see Street Fighter, where the fucking original beta, I couldn't even log into the damn thing.
Yeah, well, the first launch,
Yeah.
because they did it twice. The first launch was in such shit condition, most people couldn't even get it going.
Well, here's the thing, they called it a stress test, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
Well, that's what all betas are.
Technically, yeah,
Betas have two purposes. Half of it is marketing, and half of it is to test their servers and to test the game.
And that's
Here's-
where the stress comes in.
Here's the thing,
Seeing
though.
what it can handle.
Don't call it a beta. Call it a stress test.
Yeah.
If you call it a stress test and me as a gamer like, hey guys, I'll give you my time
Yeah.
to make sure you give me a good product.
But that's not going for their marketing.
Exactly. And
Right
that
now-
pissed me
Yeah.
the fuck off. So now, did I buy Street Fighter V? Fuck no.
See, and I picked it up because
Yeah.
I like
wanted
those
to.
fighting games, and it's a really good technical. Like right now, Street Fighter V is probably going to be the next competition game. It's that technical, and it's
Once
that
it officially releases.
yeah. Once they officially release the entire game,
Oh, fuck.
I
we're
pirated already.
Yeah.
That helps.
and go for it. You know, like at one point, is it okay that we buy the $60 game
Absolutely
and
not.
4 months later they're going to release the storyline mode?
$60 for our American friends. You paid $90.
Yeah, I guess I paid 90. That's
Yeah,
right.
you paid $90 fucking dollars.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to what I buy. I just fucking buy it. But yeah, no, it's $90 out in Canada right now for us
After
to-
taxes.
After taxes to buy a fucking game.
Yep.
It's ridiculous how expensive it is. It's almost disconcerting knowing that they have these things for these stress tests, as you mentioned, like watching the network. And I go and I've literally, it took me 20 minutes to get the one match that I got, and I've had it on there for over an hour just searching, and I'm not getting anything.
The price of games, I think, is fine. Like, they've gone up. We're having a lot more people working on the games. There's a lot more people in the industry. It's the DLCs, I think.
And there's also
Yeah.
a lot more people playing the game.
The
Yeah,
no, but the
I hate them
DLCs
selling you half a game,
See,
an unfinished game.
I
for
don't-
full price.
I don't mind DLCs to a degree, right? There is a certain issue. There's another topic that we're going to get in here with Fallout. Fallout's a pretty full game as it is.
Yeah.
So they are creating DLCs after said fact. They're not releasing the game with the DLC on it that you're just going to get a code to unlock it on the game.
I don't
That's
like
where I have an issue.
mandatory DLCs like Star Wars
Yeah.
or Battlefield. Basically anything EA.
Yeah,
is gonna
EA
be
is
like
pretty-
that.
But I guess I gotta ask you guys, like, when DLC first came out, what was the reaction to it? At first, everyone was like, "Oh, this is super cool. This is
I get to
great,"
add
right?
to my game.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And we
exactly.
got a little too comfortable with that.
That's when DLCs
Yep.
were good. They were releasing extra content. Like, you
Something
remember
new
the
to it.
DLCs for Fallout. It was a completely different storyline.
Yeah, a whole, like, a Vegas could have easily been a DLC to...
And then
could have been,
there's
yeah.
DLCs for COD where it's like, oh, you're getting a skin.
Yeah, where it's $2.99 right now. I think Street Fighter's DLC, the stuff that they're announcing for $2.99, you get a different fucking skin for like Ryu, so it's like a different color.
Admittedly,
stand
to
that.
their credit, though, whatever, it's all unlockable. Again, once the official game actually releases,
In
it
4
will
months
be
from now.
unlockable for everything.
Yeah.
And
So-
is that shitty thing where maybe that's why they're doing that? To lock you in, like, hey, you have this game for 4 months, we're gonna get a couple of sales from you, and then you have the opportunity to unlock everything if you want.
Yeah, but like,
Isn't
what's
that
the
shitty?
fucking point? I'd rather wait the 4 months
And this,
and get the full game as opposed to getting it 4 months early and having this very half-assed fucking game that I can't fucking play anything
But
for.
there's always people who are going to pay for stuff like that.
yes.
Yeah.
And this is why it's important to vote with your fucking wallet.
Yeah.
And this is why I was like, you know what? A Street Fighter game? I will never buy a Street Fighter game off launch for this kind of fucking reason.
That's half the
Well,
reason
we-
I pirate games.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is that we just
and I
have-
can't blame you at that point, because I'm
Yeah.
kind of against pirating for personal reasons, but I'm like, dude, I can't blame you for that shit, because look at the shit they do.
Yeah,
I bought
get-
Fallout 4, and I also pirated it so I could play it 12 hours early.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I paid for the game. Who cares?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
who cares?
Yeah.
And that's something I think you and I had discussions about before, that I agree with that 110%. If you want a game, you like a game, you want them to come up with some more, pay for that fucking game.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're iffy about the game, I'm not going to object. I don't really care. You know, like I've been that way. Like, am I going to go spend $800 for a little Samson? No, fuck no. I'm going to go get a $40 reproduction cart, or I'm going to just get a fucking like a flash drive and
on
fucking
your
play it that way. Yeah, play it, emulate it, because $800 is a lot to throw on something. No, I mean, we're looking at something different here. That's a different
That's
ballpark. That's our
physical
retro, right?
stuff,
That's our
yeah.
phys-
That's a one-time
Yeah.
purchase. It will always be the same.
yeah, it's a little different on that compared to like the newer games that are out right now. Which another topic we have on here is the Fallout DLC. I don't know if anybody's been kind of following
Oh,
this.
raise the price?
Yeah, we went from in America it was a $30 DLC. Out here it's $40. They're raising it up $20 to $50 American, and so we're looking at $60 for a raise at the end of this month. If you haven't purchased it now, is there going to be more content, or are they just raising it to be like, okay, let's get the last little bit of sales we're going to get before we start releasing it? And then we'll raise it up, and then fuck it. We've already gotten the people that we want it have it, and nobody wants to pay the extra $20.
It's probably all of the above, but for me, my thing is like, you know what? I'm always in that ballpark where it's like, you know, as shitty as that kind of opinion is, it's gonna happen. So it's like, you know what? This is kind of an incentive to support something early on to kind of get those deals, right?
Absolutely.
Because at this point, you might kind of see that happen. From that.
Like the DLC content that's coming out, I don't know if you can look that up there, Aaron. There is 3 or 4 coming out in the next 2 months. I know one of them is it's actually like a full on DLC.
Yeah.
Then there's also this like arena thing that's coming out with it. So you get like this arena that you can capture whatever in the world, like any of the death. what are they called? The
Death Claws.
Death Claws and the like any mutants that are super mutants that are in there. Titan
Have you ever
mutants.
encountered the massive fucking mutant?
Yeah. There's one called Swan in there. That's he wasn't that hard to beat actually.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them.
It's pretty fucked up. I remember being like in the water, just something like that, and all of a sudden I saw him like walking out. So like his head was like right in front of me.
It's just huge.
And I'm like, holy shit, what the hell? And I didn't know about these things at that point.
Yeah, no, that's how I
And then all of a
found out
sudden,
too.
Holy shit.
For me, I saw the swan in the water. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's letting me target it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see what this is, and then poof, the thing fucking. I'm like,
thought
oh
it was
Jesus
a
Christ!
glitch at first until I saw videos of other people fighting them. So I was like, oh, this is actually part of the game.
Part of the game.
So
But
cool
like,
thing
you
about this Fallout 4 and the fact that you get all this content, the season pass you originally purchased is going to give you a lot of DLC, and hopefully it's worth it for this price increase.
Well, that's
for
what they're
people to buy
saying.
more.
Their whole thing is they're saying, oh, we're giving you more than $30 worth of content or
Yeah.
whatever. But my question is, what about the people who already pre-ordered?
See, the people that already pre-ordered, they're not increasing the price on
Yeah,
that. You
you're
have it.
good.
You're
You're
getting it
covered,
at that.
yeah.
They gave a warning out a month in advance, which I think is the proper thing to do, saying, hey, at the end of the month, we are increasing the price.
Mm-hmm.
You have 1 month to pre-order your season pass from us at this price. After this month, it's going up because we are going to be adding a lot more content than we originally anticipated.
Well, I guess I'm okay with that, but I guess we're gonna have to wait and see if it's
actually worth
good
it, right?
DLC or not.
Exactly.
Because right now,
There's-
the first wave of DLC, the 3 that's coming out, seems pretty interesting. It seems okay. Like I said, it's got that battle arena where you can like kind of capture monsters or capture mutants and have them battle against each other. That's whatever.
See-
And then there's going to be some new guns. There's going to be some new armor and a little bit more of a storyline. And then there's going to be a bigger
It
storyline.
essentially sounds like the DLC that was available for 3 in Vegas and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
why ruin a working formula? Right?
exactly. And I guess, okay, did you pick up all DLC for 3 in Vegas?
No, I bought the Game of the Year
Collected.
editions after.
See, I actually purchased some of the DLC for 3, and you know what? For the like good 4 or 5 hour chunk, the $15 I spent at the time, not a bad purchase for me as a fan of that game. Just wanting to support those guys, and again, I'm always big into supporting these developers and what they do. And for me, it was an acceptable price.
I think right now my general rule of thumb on games is $1 an hour.
Exactly.
$1 an hour.
As
that not
low
fair?
as you can get that to there.
Yeah.
You're
If I'm paying $15, I better get 15 hours out of it.
exactly.
If I'm paying $20, I better get 20 hours out of it. Even if it's got a replayable thing, like I'm replaying it and doing something different on a different way, that's still counted towards those hours. I think $1 an hour is a pretty fair.
Yeah.
Fair
You know
amount.
what though? But I'm almost not even on like quantity. If it's a quality DLC, if I'm like holy shit by the end of it, who
See,
cares?
I guess I'm tainted because I'm a PC gamer and I'm used to Steam sales
Yep.
where everything's included.
like 50 cents.
Just
Yeah.
get like all these humble bundles and stuff like
if a
that.
game's cheap enough, I'll buy it even if I have no plan on playing it.
It's just sitting there.
Yeah,
Like, wait, if
it's
you
just-
ever do want to play
I
it,
have
it's
a
fucking
massive library of Steam games.
You're
I have
looking at,
6 of
like,
them installed.
a
This-
complete
this is
like
the equivalent.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
right
just
here.
See-
I'm gonna play. There is no feasible way for me to play every single one of these games before I'm dead. It's never gonna happen.
And I'm doing the same thing on my PSN account with the flash sales.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
When
as
it
soon as
comes, I
something-
grab it.
When it's $1, $2.
I just
No,
I just bought Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the PS2 games for the PS4. For I'm
When-
fucking not kidding
I
you.
swear you have them.
The 5th time I have bought these fucking
Yeah.
games.
Gotta
I bought them for the PS2 twice because I sold them originally. So I bought them twice for the PS2. I got them for the original Xbox. When they got re-released on the fucking Xbox 360, I bought it for the fucking download. For the PS3 re-release, I rebought it. And now I just bought both of them again for the fucking PS4.
Dude, that's me in Resident Evil 4.
I've only-
All over again.
That I've bought maybe 15 full price games in my life.
Jesus Christ. You better fucking like those games.
See,
man.
but again, easier for you to do it because you're on PC, right?
I bought
I
Battlefield.
heard that
I bought the season pass of Battlefield or whatever they're calling it, premium, and like. I was mad about it at first, but now I have like 600 hours in Battlefield. I go
can't
back
complain
and play
after
it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you got your money out of it.
Exactly.
And that's what it is these days. Money right now isn't worth what it used to be worth. Like
No.
it's
Oh, not at all.
yeah. So when you have stuff like that, your money has to be like put towards something that you're gonna get something out
But
of.
again, it comes down to that perspective because literally, like you just said, at the first, oh fuck these guys and the money they just made
Yeah.
me spend. A couple years later, oh, it actually was worth the money.
No,
I
I
spent.
see. And on the flip side of that, Tony Hawk can fuck off.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 is the worst
I
piece
still
of
need to
garbage
play
I've
that,
ever
yeah.
fucking played in my
that's
life.
not even worth pirating.
No, it isn't. It's
not
so
even
bad.
worth the like
I
10
think-
cents it's going to cost me in internet
I
bandwidth.
I honestly think Tony wanted to be so involved that he just fucking developed it himself. It's so fucking glitchy.
All right, I'll do
It's
this
so
myself.
bad. Like the problem is with it, like even the fucking testers didn't play it. Like they were just like, fuck it, you know. There's nothing that we can do to save this piece of shit. And it was that bad of a game.
And that's
so
something where a beta test would have helped.
oh, huge. It would have
It would have been
immensely
like, hey,
helped.
this game is garbage.
Hey,
us
like I
one-
just went through a wall. Oh, I just went through another one.
Give
Oh,
us
fuck,
one
I'm falling
skate
through the
park.
floor.
Give us 1 or 2 skate parks, 1 or 2 skaters. Exactly. Let us have fun for like a week.
There's
Just
a lot
try
of
it.
games that happens with where they go super hardcore for the console, and then when it comes out on PC, they seem to not. It's like they haven't tested it at all.
Oh, yeah,
Like
it's-
Call of Duty. Every time a Call of Duty game comes out, there are massive game-breaking bugs.
Like
Which-
beat the game in 3 minutes because you can walk through a wall bug.
Well, they get bugs that like if a tester would have played it for 10 minutes, they would have been like, "Hey, this is bugged."
And
Yeah, and see the problem with that though is there has been such a like one of the Sonic games, I can't remember which one it is. The testers got interviewed afterwards of like, why was this so bad? And they're like,
Sonic R?
yeah, Sonic R. We know how bad this game is. We told our parent company, and they said fuck it and just released it anyway.
Yeah, well,
It's not necessarily
they
the
release it
tester's
as
fault.
is. Actually, they
Yeah.
release it as is.
Yeah, well, you can't fucking release as is games. Like, if it's a car as is, okay, but like,
See, and it's funny you bring up the Call of Duty beta because I'm like, I played that, decided not to buy the game because of that. Absolutely decided.
I decided not to buy a Call of Duty game because it comes out every 3 months. So
You
I'm like,
know me.
I made that decision years ago.
yeah, I got gave up. The last one I bought was Ghost, just because the PS4 was new.
That's the one I didn't buy.
Yeah, it was new. There was nothing really out, so I bought it just to have something to play. And it wasn't that good of a game. The campaign was nothing.
Last one I physically purchased. Actually, I got it for Christmas, so never mind. But
You still got it.
It was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, I believe.
Which was a great game, though.
That was back when the campaigns were good. The online was pretty good.
I think we have an issue, the same thing that musicians kind of have. At the very beginning of their lifespan, they always release their best stuff because they're starving. And then once they start getting
Trying
big, they
to
don't
stick
try
around to
anymore.
The name.
Yeah,
they just live off the legacy of the name.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't have to try anymore because they know the money to them is going to come. It's how it happens. It happens with music all the time. A lot of bands aren't nearly as good towards the end or the later of their career
Rolling
as
Stones.
opposed. Yeah, Rolling
A
Stones.
lot
Yeah.
of people just run out of ideas. Like that's what happened to Metallica with Saint Anger. They're like,
Oh
we
my
want to
God.
produce something different.
Okay, Saint Anger was a
they
whole
used,
other
They used a
fucking
trash can for a snare.
Yeah, I was just going to say the snare. That fucking why?
They turned the snares off the snare.
Actually, did you guys ever hear that thing? Some dude, because I think actually that album's more compression issue. Okay, going huge off topic. There's a dude who actually properly re-recorded it, remastered it, and it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just the fact that again,
It was
they did
just
a good job
small
of slapping it
choices.
together.
Yeah, they just slapped it together.
Well,
They
have
could
you
have
ever
done a
seen
lot
this
better.
Some Kind of Monster movie? They made that with their producer as the bass player.
Oh yeah,
They
well
were
the thing is,
missing
yeah,
some
he's
people.
what was his name? Oh fuck, I can't remember his name, but yeah, he did the basing for a little while.
Jason Neufeld?
Jason Neufeld, there we go. Yeah,
he
Jason
went to
Newstead.
Newstead,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jason Newstead. So he did the basing for like a very short period of time. It was about a 1 to 2 year span that he was doing it. Who, by the way, is a very good bassist. The only problem with Metallica is that nobody ever fucking lived up to Cliff.
Cliff Burton.
Yeah, Cliff Burton was the last person for him. Holy fuck, we're going really off topic here.
Wow.
But like seriously, like that was what it is. Nobody held up, and
Well,
then when
people
they
say
finally,
the same thing about Dave Mustaine, though. They're like, "Oh, that was real Metallica."
he is real Metallica.
Well, yeah, there's
Megadeth
the
is
original.
fucking amazing. It's the most, in my opinion, they're so well loved by people, but in his eyes, he is the most underrated fucking musician ever.
There's a
Because
reason why-
he
there's a
lives
reason
under
for
his
that.
own fucking.
There's
banner.
a reason for that though. Megadeth is super technical when you listen to it.
Yeah.
Metallica's just turn it on and anyone can listen to
Yeah.
Metallica.
Yeah, it's
You
the
really need to
pop
be in the
of
mood
metal.
to hear Megadeth.
Yeah.
See, for me, Megadeth, I'm always in the mood to hear a Megadeth song. I
No,
fucking
for me,
love
literally,
Megadeth.
Yeah,
I
I'm
need
like
to be-
that with Metallica.
Sweating Bullets, I can listen to that any fucking time in the day.
I can listen to Saint Anger now and then. I just
See,
have
and I
to
can't-
turn the treble down.
For Metallica, the Black Album was my last, and I can't listen to the Black Album anymore.
yeah,
Dude,
I've
Death
heard
Magnetic's
too
fucking
much of the
awesome.
Black Album.
Yeah, Black Album on, I can't listen
Enter
to, but everything
Sandman
before,
just makes me angry.
I think is great.
Yeah.
Injustice for All and Master of Puppets are my two favorite albums from them.
Ride the Lightning.
Ride the Lightning's a good one too. Kill 'Em All is the good one though. That's the one that's got
But give
got
Death Magnetic a
Mustaine,
try.
right?
It's good.
Yeah, it's
Death Magnetic, I have listened to.
I saw
did
that
enjoy
one
it.
in concert.
Yeah, it is good. It is good. Okay, so
So what were we talking about?
yeah, we broke away from like
computers or
Video
something like that.
we jumped around a little bit
That's
there.
fine.
Okay, so next on our list here, very recently we've just approached a pivotal point in gaming history. It is the 30th anniversary of Zelda.
Ooh, Zelda.
That came out 30 years ago. Was it yesterday? Was it? Yeah,
February 21st.
February 21st, Zelda was released to the American publics.
So, first Zelda memories. And go.
Very first Zelda memory. Oh, it's not even that special. It's actually Adventures of Link was the first one I played. My neighbor who used to babysit me, I would fucking go over to his house every day asking to borrow this game or go and just play it at his place. And he's like a fucking teenager and I was like a 5-year-old, so he's like, fuck off. So I'd go there and I'd play it, but I would just sit there playing the game with his mom watching me while he fucked off and I played the game. Finally, he lent it to me. And earliest...
Again, get this kid out of my fucking house.
The earliest memory I remember having is my bedtime was like, I don't know, we'll just say 7 o'clock. So I went to bed at 7 and my parents and my brother would go to bed at like 9 or something. I woke up to them fucking brushing their teeth, and I'm like, fuck yeah. I just jumped up out of bed, right downstairs, boom, slammed it in, fucking pushed the power. My parents are like, we're going to bed. Get the fuck to bed. It's like I slept for an hour, and I'm like, it's time to fucking play. Yeah. And that's probably my earliest memory, but I fucking loved that game. The sense of adventure, the sense of exploring, like that started a love of these games for me.
Well, for me, it was my first memory. Actually, I've just always had Legend of Zelda. For me, growing up, when you kind of like have those memories, like, okay, this is the system I had, and these are the games I had. It was just always there for me. Mm-hmm. And I mean, as a kid, of course, that gold cartridge just fucking draws you to it. So of course you're just gonna be like, "What's
it's marketing for
this
you?
Gold piece?" So you just shove it in. So just fucking loved it. One of those games, like, I had no help. There was obviously no internet back then. Barely had Nintendo powers, and if I did, I probably did not have any issues that even talked about Legend of Zelda.
No, the first one wasn't in any of them.
Yeah, so
the first one was in the very first episode or very first book, which most people didn't have. So.
So I just fucking love that game. Again, got into Adventure Link, and one of those games that people fucking hate, and I love.
I think more recently people are jumping aboard of like, hey, that game wasn't bad.
No, I think it's the exact opposite. I hear more, it's the shittiest game ever.
See, I heard that a lot for a while.
I still hear it.
And I think recently, within the past year, people are like, oh, you know what, fuck video game nerd. He's just a character. The game's not a bad game. I've been hearing that a little bit more, but I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that's what I've been hearing.
I wish I could say I've heard that.
Because I fucking love that game.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
It's so
Do you have any Zelda memories yourself there, Aaron?
Well, I'm a little bit younger, but my oldest... Well, I vaguely remember The Legend of Zelda. Vaguely, but my first good memory was Ocarina of Time. And 64.
Yeah.
Played the shit out of that game.
Oh, that's the dividing point, right? We have 3 areas of Zelda that are just like bam and in your face, which would be the first one. Mm-hmm. Then we got the Super Nintendo one, which is the next generation of kids, and then the next generation after that was our Ocarina. And right now,
progression from NES, Super Nintendo to N64. Yeah, they did it perfectly.
And at this point, where those people that are really into Ocarina of Time are at your age right now. So you have a disposable income of some sort. So people are getting more and more into that.
But okay, I gotta ask you this, Aaron, because like you said, you grew up with this one. This is your first kind of Zelda game. Best Zelda ever. Honestly, your opinion.
I haven't played enough of them.
Okay.
Honestly, I would still go with Ocarina of Time. It was an amazing game.
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like a lot of like from your generation, like our generation, like your age gap. Yeah, they kind of consider Ocarina to be the best. But I'm like, you know what? As much as I played all of them up into that point, it was the biggest wow moment for me.
Yeah, it was a wow.
Because to see from Super Nintendo to that. Holy shit, was that amazing.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that the first time it was in 3D?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the first 3D. Absolutely. It wasn't the first 3D game. The first real, well-done 3D game was Mario 64. That was the first real... For 3D Zelda game, that was the first 3D Zelda game, and it was based off of such a wonderful game of Mario 64. Like the same engine, more or less.
Had they made Zelda first, who knows, that game might not have been as good if they didn't have that, like, framework from Super Mario 64 to build upon.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it really made a huge difference in that. And I'm not going to disagree or combat the thought of people that are like, this is the best game.
I'll combat it completely. Because
it's a great fucking game. And it really set the tone for everything yet to come afterwards. But I'm adequate on Legend of Zelda for the Super Nintendo. The Link to the Past, by far, to me, has spoke like a lot more strongly to me. The storyline was a little bit less scattered.
Yeah.
If that makes it, because like with a big open world brings a big open storyline.
Exactly.
So like there's a lot of area that
it's
you
a
can
little
have to
more
go around on.
streamlined in Super Nintendo, and
Yeah.
at least like in the A Link Between Worlds on 3DS,
Yeah.
it kind of went back to that formula a little bit because I feel like even the DS Zelda games like Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks
Still good, but they were
so
different.
good, but they're so different
Yeah.
from that top-down A Link to the Past kind of feel we're used to.
And that's the one thing that you can say about Zelda is every single game, although similar,
Unique.
has enough uniqueness
Yeah.
to it to
Yeah.
be a good different game in its own right. Wind Waker is a great example of
Well,
that.
and I guess I even kind of want to bring up the whole fact that there are, of course, those huge ass Zelda nerds who want to try to tie everything together into this time.
Okay, let's face it. Nintendo did not have that in
No,
their fucking
they
head when
didn't.
they were making
What
these
about the
things.
Super Mario timeline?
Of course, right?
Holy
Save her
Christ.
again and again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
I still say she just wants to be captured.
of course,
That's like this is a fantasy of hers. There's no doubt about it.
pretty much.
So the question I have with the Zelda 30th anniversary just passing us, what does the future hold for a Zelda brand when feasibly almost everything's been done? It's how many times can you retell the same story?
There's definitely a huge market for an Ocarina of Time 3D remake in Unreal Engine. Or
I've been seeing some stuff from that. Yeah, it looks
people
really
have
cool.
been recreating massive parts of the map.
And the nice thing about Nintendo is they don't fucking shut them down. They're like, if we're not going to do it ourselves, they don't shut it down. They're not going to.
They were really against emulators at first.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. When they first started.
Yeah.
Recently, though, they haven't been shutting down a lot of these like projects of like. Have you ever heard of Project M? The Smash Brothers.
Yeah, of course.
So Smash Brothers Brawl on the Wii. Nobody liked it. It was fucking terrible.
Essentially, it was a mod for a Wii game, which is crazy on itself.
Yeah, it was a mod for a Wii game. So that it would replicate more of the GameCube style, so it had a little bit more technical, like battles in it. So
They kind of watered it down from what the Brawl was supposed to be. That's
Yeah.
kind of what they did, really.
yeah, more or less. But
by the way,
Nintendo never shut it down. They let it
Project
go.
M fans are going to hate us for this fucking explanation of this.
I
'cause
know.
they're
It's way more than
crazy
that.
with this.
Well,
There's like these
It's
different
a
type of
community game, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's a
pretty
fucking really cool concept, and Nintendo didn't shut it down at all. They let it because they're not going to do it. They're like, well, fuck it. They're going to do it. Just let them do it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not affecting us. It's not affecting our sales. We're not going to get more sales off of fucking Brawl anymore. Let them fucking have their thing, and I think they're good about that. So
Yeah.
if they're not planning on remaking the Ocarina of Time, they're going to let these communities just fucking do it.
Is-
Look what they did with Mother 3.
Exactly.
Mother
I was
3
about to bring that
is
up.
Earthbound. Earthbound in Japan is Mother. We're about to get another or an American release of it. Finally, it only took fucking forever, but
Well, it kind of rumored. I think it's been.
I think it's more. It's not officially announced, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of a
it's like
rumor.
on its way.
Yeah.
But there is a fan translation that is fucking excellent. And Nintendo isn't even bothering to like shut them down or anything. Like, go ahead, release it. Don't sell it, but release it. You know,
Here's
like,
the
let people
thing.
watch it.
That's good. People don't realize how much modding has helped. Like if you look at CS:GO, that is a mod.
Yeah.
All of Counter-Strike is a mod from Half-Life.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
That's
Oh, yeah.
how the whole thing is made.
Half-Life 2, by God damn, like how much fucking modding went off of Half-Life 2 alone?
Everything. That was not the start, but that was a pretty big beginning to the modding scene.
Like, everybody keeps talking about how much they want Half-Life 2. I don't think they want Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3.
They want fucking all these mods that have happened from Half-Life 2 to continue
Yeah.
into 3, and
Well,
they're different games.
There's new ones that keep coming out. There's one that came out last week. Apparently, that's amazing.
I have the Valve theory, which I'll bring up at a certain point. But kind of going back to Nintendo a little bit.
Yeah,
I just feel like they are okay with certain projects as long as it doesn't hurt their main property. So as long as you don't touch Mario, as long as you don't touch Zelda, I think they're
they tend to leave it
technically
alone.
okay with
Yeah,
it.
they're okay with it.
Yeah, because there was the whole what was it? Those fan trailers for those
The
like
movies,
live actions.
yeah,
Zelda
and then
movies.
they signed on with Netflix, but they didn't actually sign
It's
on
not.
with
Well,
Netflix.
no, something's kind of come back about. Apparently, something is coming, but who knows? What
I don't think Nintendo sanctioned what was
No,
being
no.
said. So
Nintendo's always really big on proprietary hardware. That's
Oh,
what. That's what would make me think that they wouldn't like modding. But I guess since the main guy died a couple months ago,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
someone else has taken over.
Yeah, they're doing things that they said they would never do, like mobile games.
But here's
stuff
but
like
here's
that.
the thing with that though, because you're absolutely right. They always love using just older technology
Yeah.
to make it to get the best.
They
out
were
of it.
afraid of pirating.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Well, not only that, because like that. Well, that's why they introduced like the NES chip and those like certain
Yeah.
lockouts.
They're about
into the
innovation.
cartridge.
They
Yeah.
always have been. They don't care about how good it looks. It's about how it plays, how it feels, and what type
Exactly.
of experience you get out of it.
Because I mean, let's go back to the generations, right? Look at the NES and the Master System. Technically, the Master System is actually a better system.
Yeah, on a technical standpoint.
On a technical standpoint, but the games are better just because, well, it was better supported.
They cared about it.
Yeah.
They cared about what
That
they
goes
did.
back to VHS and Betamax. Betamax was
Is a
better.
far
VHS
superior.
had better marketing.
Records and tapes.
HD
Tapes
and
and
Blu-ray.
CDs.
And then you look
always
at
the same thing.
look
Yeah,
at
HD
the
Blu-ray.
Game Boy and Game Gear. How easy would it have been for just to put a color screen on it? But it's like, no, keep the cost down. We can work with
Yeah.
this. We can make this work.
We can make this great.
and make it profitable for us and affordable for the consumer.
Or the Virtual Boy. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And see, and that's the one shitty example where they absolutely rushed it to the market.
Yeah,
right?
they really did.
That
They
was
tried
the,
to-
the one example where they did, and it fucked it up.
The cheaper costs really affected them by doing like the black and red and stuff. So,
Yeah, not
but
to mention affected people's eyes.
yeah, and destroyed people. Like it fucking just destroyed people's eyes.
But that's something they've always done super
Have there
well,
ever
and
been
they're going to
lawsuits about
continue to
that?
do it.
I don't. There might have been, but I'm not sure if there's been a Virtual Boy lawsuit within the years. I couldn't imagine.
No,
it.
there was no Virtual Boy lawsuit, but the only lawsuit that came up was with the 3DS camera. Apparently, the 3D camera that they have on the 3DSs was a patent that they did not have the right to use. And
Oh,
they used
okay,
it,
yeah.
And the company that had the right sued them, but I think they kind of settled to like just kind of a settlement.
Hey,
deal.
give me some money and we'll
Exactly.
go on from
Every
there.
couple of sale or million sales of the 3DS, you give us a portion of that, and we're good.
Well, yeah.
So
like on to the point of Zelda. Right now we have on the horizon Zelda U coming out.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be the finalized name because it's not going to be a strictly
No.
Wii U game. It's going to come out for Wii U because there'd be too many Wii U supporters that would be pissed if it didn't come out on it and it just came out on Next.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a cross-platform, I think. The same way that what's it called? Twilight Princess was cross-platform between Wii and GameCube back in the day. So I think we're looking at the same thing, but. As the looks like the step that they're taking is by trying to do it of a more open world sense. So I think the future of Zelda right now is looking a little bright. I don't know how the combat and how everything's going to feel, and like how I don't know what this next system is.
But
Right?
we
None of
also-
us really do.
But we also don't know the changes they've made since they've last talked about it, right?
It's been almost a year since they really
year.
talked about it. Like
But
really.
But the
talked
way
about
they
it.
described it, they were like, "Hey, you see that mountain in the background?
You can go there.
You can go there." But that also tells me there's no kind of direct streamlined storyline. So it's probably going to be like Legend of Zelda, where hey, grab your sword, start exploring.
I said it earlier today or earlier in the podcast about open world gives open story, so it becomes a lot harder to tell a story in such a big world.
Exactly.
Fallout has done a tremendous job of being able to do that, but not a lot of companies can. It's a really difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
Think about the amount of hours of just like voice dialogue that they had to do for fucking.
Bethesda's really good at that.
Yeah.
It seems a
See?
lot of their games are like that.
And maybe this is where Nintendo goes back to the hey, we do this, it works, let's not change anything. By keeping everything text only, you can save so much time and money on dialogue recording. You really could.
So next on our list, we got. I was speaking to you about this before. The Kaliko Chameleon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to touch base on it because it did happen in the past 2
Do
weeks.
we really need to talk about this?
It needs to be talked about.
It doesn't really matter.
Well, it's okay.
It's the most important innovation in gaming history.
Going
Yeah.
right back to cartridge, man. Let's
8-bit
do-
cartridges.
It's important.
That's the future.
The past is the future.
But I don't know if you know really what has happened at the toy show recently with them. One of podcasts that I listen to, Completely Unnecessary Podcast, has touched a little base on this.
Well, they got called out on it by the guys.
Yeah, no kidding. But what they did is, instead of doing what they were originally doing on their first, it wasn't Kickstarter they were on something else, and now they're
Indiegogo?
on. Yeah, they were on Indiegogo before, and now they're on Kickstarter. And for Kickstarter to allow you to be on there, you have to have a working prototype for you to be able to do it. So instead of having a working prototype, what it appears that they have done is they took a shell of their Kaliko,
Which is
and-
basically an Atari Jaguar.
yeah, an Atari Jaguar, and jammed a fucking Super Nintendo 2 inside of it, and just put electrical tape all around. And there are pictures that you can see from the show where it goes the show version of it, and then people taking their own Ataris and jamming the same Super Nintendo in. They're identical.
Yeah.
through and through. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have anything. I'm just saying that they are not ready to do a Kickstarter at this point. Do you have the picture on it here?
Is that it?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So this is the actual Kaliko. That's the one that they were using at the toy show. If you look in the back, there's some pictures. I don't know if you could find it on there. You might have to find it on Google itself. But you can see the little box sticking out the back where even the controllers didn't have like ports to plug in. It went right into the system because they had to put them in the fucking system so that it would plug into the Super Nintendo too. Again, I'm not saying that they don't have a prototype on the works. It's just clear that they don't have it ready for Kickstarter at this point.
And they ran their mouth. They got called out on it, and now they felt the need to kind of present something that
Can
they
you see it now?
Lots of people are calling them out on it.
Yeah,
there's a video of it too.
Yeah, they have a video.
There were people who took tons of videos of it.
Like of how bad this thing is.
Yeah.
So at this point, what type of leg do they have to stand on? Like if this is what people see and like, holy crap, this is exactly what's happened. Can they release a prototype and be okay? Like I think they've already kind of burned 2 bridges now.
Well,
from
you gotta
the
think,
original thing till now.
The main consoles back in cartridge-based days were always, of course, Nintendo and Sega. But there were a lot of other little guys who tried to do random shit like that, and you got to think if those companies who maybe had larger parent companies behind them backing them with money, what the hell chance are these fucking Kaliko chameleon assholes had a chance?
Well, I mean, we got to stop calling it Kaliko. They just bought the name Kaliko and they jammed it on a fucking box.
What was the original called? The Retro VGS?
It's the Retro VGS is what it was originally called. So let's just call it the VGS because all they did was just buy Kaliko as a name and threw it on there. So that
they like slapping shit on things.
They really do. So right now we have the Kaliko Super Nintendo hybrid that we could possibly back and get sent to us at some point for, I think the price point is like $300 and some odd.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Who would pay this when you can just get any other
buy a Super Nintendo 2, buy a broken Jaguar
and just jam the fucking thing in. Like, you're fine to go.
Any emulator can play any of these games. Emulators are literally free.
Yeah,
and that's the thing because
there's cartridges you can buy for your Super Nintendo that will allow you to emulate. You can just plug in SSD chips or cards into it and SD chips into it and
but the fact
put
is
anything on there.
Even if whatever this is not going to be what their final product's going to end up, it's pretty obvious that whatever they're making is just a Super Nintendo clone. That's all it is.
And allowing new developers to work on this new Super Nintendo.
That's the weird thing is they want to put out new games.
Yeah.
New 8-bit games.
Well, there's 16-bit,
okay, 16.
Yeah. We're the technical guy.
We're off by 8. There's a big problem here. Well, there is one guy. His name's GameStar81, who has been developing for this for a little while. You can find him on YouTube.
There's a couple guys actually,
and he's been developing newer games on it. That's because right now, well, back then the games were a lot more simple. Right now, we can take these technical games and jam them in 8-bit form. So I see a market for it, but it's such a niche market that who's going to buy this $400 after taxes system to fucking play the 10 games that are going to come out for it?
Retro
Maybe
collectors,
20.
that's who's going to buy them.
I don't even see them buying.
Yeah,
I'm a retro collector. I'm not going to be picking this thing up.
No, well, we're intelligent retro. No, I see posts of these guys on my various groups, and they're excited, dude. Some idiots out there, and I'm sorry if you're listening to this, I apologize, but unfortunately you're an idiot. This thing is
we can't take that away from you.
Going to be a viable console. Because the fact is, they have shown
another console.
Yeah.
Exactly, but even with this demo that they've shown, they've actually had indie developers bring their cartridges that they're working on to support this damn thing, pop it in there. Now, that being said, if all this is a Super Nintendo inside the shell, that just means these games that these developers are making, guess what? You can just go play them on your Super Nintendo.
Yeah, like what's the purpose of the system?
No, you absolutely don't need this.
Yeah, it's showing that exactly that. Like, there's not a new OS that it's working off of. It is fucking Super Nintendo.
Exactly.
I think it's kind of ridiculous, but I mean, Kaliko, I wish you the best of luck with whatever the hell you're trying to do because I don't see it taking, and it's been years of development hell at this point, and you still haven't fucking figured it out. Sorry, man, I don't see it happening. I don't see you hitting your goals, even though you do have a much more realistic goal for the 2.2 million you wanted originally.
I remember when the Ouya was a thing. Right?
Yes.
And guess what? The Ouya was a so much easier way to hand over games to people, and it still failed.
I'm guilty of being excited for the Ouya before it came out. And
hey, it happens.
I was excited, and then I started hearing more about it just being an Android-based system, and I'm like,
I was really excited about Steam machines, and I'm still pretty excited.
I'm excited
about
for a Steam machine
Steam
too.
Machines are pretty badass.
Yeah, they're going to be a little expensive, but I mean, you're getting what you pay for. You're being able to play Steam games on console on your fucking
Slightly
TV.
better settings.
Yeah, which is nice. Because part of the reason I'm not a PC gamer is because I don't want to fucking soak that much into the PC,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, it's a lot of effort. And
Whereas
a lot of...
I like it. I like actually building and looking at these parts.
Yeah.
It's fun to
Yeah.
me.
See, we got like such a diverse gaming community in this one room right now.
Yeah.
Like,
But I guess the thing with even like those Steam machines, like, because I've heard like the official one's not going to be customizable. I've heard it's going to be a thing where the like Samsung one,
Yeah,
or, like,
there,
whatever.
there are several different
Yeah.
ones. There's probably about 13 of them now that I've seen. That might be off. I should probably look that up.
But it's still.
there's-
But the point is, like, there's going to be so many versions that you're going to have your options.
the
'Cause,
one
like,
that I
there's
looked into
customer-
the most was the Alien so
Yeah.
far, and the Alien one
Yeah.
looks pretty interesting. So
And I like the fact that at least the Alienware one has a full GTX video card in it that if you can pull that out and put it in your computer.
yeah,
Which is great.
it's nice to be able to actually have some options with it afterwards. You know, like it's not working for me. My PC can do better.
Yeah.
You can just kind of work off of that with it. And let's face it, PCs you can just plug into your fucking TV nowadays.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
And,
so
and
it's
actually,
not hard.
I was about to say, just the reason for myself why I don't have a PC is because honestly, my phone, whether or not you hate Apple, it does what I need it to do. So, like, for me, do I need to go out and spend a couple $1,000s on a PC so I can play games? No. But can I spend maybe like $1,000 or $2 on a box dedicated for PC gaming? That I absolutely would
Yeah.
buy.
I see it as a nice in-between, between a console peasant and PC master race.
yeah, I think this is.
It's transitioning.
There's no bias.
Yeah,
Call you a
we're the middle
transitioning-
class at that point, right?
You're a transitioning peasant.
Well, this is going to bridge a lot of those gaps that I think are in the gaming
Which
community
is great.
right
That would
now.
be great for developers as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
Then they could push more graphics, higher.
They can do a
settings.
lot more things. Their options are a lot less limited at this
Yeah.
point. They don't have Sony's standards or Xbox standards. They can do what they feel is
I
best.
can't remember the last. There was an article recently about. They were talking about how much they had to tone down the game to put it onto consoles.
Oh yeah.
They got rid of massive amounts of story and shit. I
Well,
can't
there's so
remember
many
which
games
game
that
it
can't. I
was.
can't remember the name of that one. The one where you just massively go around killing people. Fuck, I can't remember the name.
The like
of it.
one that had all controversy behind
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It wasn't a good game. It was a terrible
yeah.
fucking game.
The one with that.
Okay,
really
the fact we don't remember the
black
name.
and
Yeah.
white protagonist.
Yeah, that one where you're just going around murdering people all the time. They tried to put that onto console, and it just
no,
never.
Rampage is something else.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Rampage. It was pretty fucking terrible, though. It didn't get good reviews. It was people were just wanted to play to see how
People just-
grotesque it could be.
The controversy was all it was. Like, it seemed like a good game at first, but then it was like a top-down shooter.
Yeah, it was. That's all it was. Like it was no different than like I don't know, Smash TV. Just
Okay.
nicer.
But I guess kind of.
Well, I
and
guess
to
not
ask
nicer,
again,
but-
you as a PC gamer, Aaron, like, okay, of course there was that whole controversy with Batman Arkham Knight on PC.
Yeah, being
Oh,
terrible.
But wasn't the main issue with one
Hatred.
video card? versus-
Hatred. Yeah, that was the
Hatred,
name of
yeah.
it.
But wasn't the issue with like one video card versus another one? Wasn't that the whole kind of issue with most of the gamers who had problems?
That was part of it, because it was in part developed by
Okay.
NVIDIA.
Yes.
Whenever you have a video card company doing that, it's always going to be better optimized for NVIDIA.
They're going to be biased in the development,
Yeah.
essentially.
But no, it was a lot worse.
So
It
it was-
sounds like what they did. Warner Brothers just dumped the PC on some fucking
It was a-
present
it was a
company.
port. It was a port.
Yeah,
it was
now-
a very terribly done port.
Yeah,
Now, with that being said, with kind of the way that I guess technology is kind of getting better over the years, obviously cheaper, better, more expensive for, I guess, higher end. Is there a way they can kind of standardize that to the point where these issues don't come up? Because it seems to be coming up a little more
frequently.
kind of
Yeah.
in a lot of PC games nowadays.
Yes, it's very hard to do though, because you would have to have two sets of developers. You would have to have them completely separate from each other.
And again, bring up the cost of everything.
And it makes console people angry, because they're like, oh, I'm only getting half of the game or at lower quality. And it's like, yes, because it's not physically possible to render thousands of people with that crappy Xbox video card.
Yeah. And you can shit on Xbox all you want on here. Anytime you want to.
Until we get a
I'm not an
takedown notice from
Xbox.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
It's definitely true though. You do have a lot of limitations with console.
But I guess for me, and you just kind of mentioned something where and you know, I've heard that console gamer get pissed off about that, but for me, I'm like, oh, Batman Arkham Knight's not as pretty as a PC one. Whatever. I can actually play the game though. and I can actually enjoy the experience as opposed to
The people
the
don't
people who bought that
understand.
game.
A lot of people who play consoles don't understand where PC people are coming from. I'm not going to spend $2,000 on a computer to play it at 30 FPS,
Exactly.
720p, how you could on your console.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Agreed.
And people just don't seem to get that. They're like,
I
why
think
would you do that?
at a point it used to be you buy the console, you buy your game will fucking work. You don't have an issue
Yeah,
with it.
that was the
that
thing, it was
was
plug and
a
play.
standard.
Not so much anymore.
Yeah, now we are
Now you
buying
still
a
gotta
lot of
download the
broken
game
games.
after you
Yeah.
get the game.
And we're getting a lot of broken games on there that are just crap. Look at Assassin's Creed. Like,
Look at all of the Assassin's
yeah,
games.
they're broken
Which,
games.
To me, it kind of baffles me because I'm like, how is it that these PC ports are so much? And again, I know how the development works, but in like my head, I'm like, how is it this PC version sucks so bad when didn't they need a PC to make the game in the first place?
Yes, which is the weird
Yeah,
part.
right, that's
All
what I'm
these
saying.
games
It's
are
very
made-
It makes no
confusing,
sense to me
right?
how that
Yeah.
works.
They're all made on PC.
Exactly.
That's just, it's a really big mind
So if
fuck,
anything,
so.
develop it on PC first and then port to the other systems.
That's what the good ones do.
Yeah,
as
but they
far
seem
as
to
I
develop
know.
for PlayStation and then work
Yeah,
outwards.
which I hate.
Yeah.
So let's get to the next topic, which is kind of relative to this because it may possibly bridge a bit of a gap. We're on the brink of virtual reality, boys. So
Yeah.
we're getting close. Well, I mean, as close to virtual reality as we thought we would be at this point. It's not really that. Like
was
I
gonna
look at
say,
it, it's like it's okay. but-
20 years ago, I think they thought we were going to be like having full-on holodecks at this point.
well, yeah, but we always think 30 years ahead of where we're only going to
Actually
be.
gonna
Yeah.
be, yeah.
So, like, I mean, let's face it. At this point, we have VR. Everybody's talking about VR right now. We got Microsoft talking about it. PlayStation, HTC's
Google.
got their new one coming. Google, Samsung.
Google has two actually. They just released that they're working on standalone
Yeah.
instead of the Google Cardboard.
And then Oculus.
Well, is it like
Oculus
the HoloLens and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, no,
That's Microsoft.
That's Microsoft.
Oh, that's Microsoft.
That was something different. That was the only reason I wanted the Xbox One when they first announced that. Like, this is what it's going to be, and then they're like, "We're not doing that." I'm like, "I'm not buying you."
Well, what they showed at the HoloLens demo was not actually what your HoloLens is going to
Oh,
look
no.
like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any
not.
demo like that, it's always going to be far removed from the
But
Yeah,
we
it's-
have about 10 options for VR coming our way right now. And one of the options is PlayStation VR, which we were
Morpheus.
discussing earlier. It's not going to be as good as everybody's expecting it to be. It's going to be about a half of VR
Yeah.
in comparison to what you can buy on the markets right now. So, like, we're looking at HTC's price point, which, by the way, because Oculus, everybody freaked out at the $600 fucking set point. I think that's fair. HTC just announced theirs
Before
at
before you go on, I think it's fair to a point. My issue with that is in any type of anything, the development kits are generally more expensive than the final product.
Yeah.
And in this case, complete opposite. It's
went
more
opposite
expensive
way
than
around.
the dev kit.
That's true. But right now, that 600 point that everybody's freaking out about, we have HTC having what seems to be not necessarily far superior, but it has its superior motives in it. There's a few things that's a little bit better, going at $800 for their new product when it comes out. Now, Aaron and I were talking about some of the differences between this on the way here. I think you're looking it up right now, right?
Yeah.
So I know one of them is we have the Oculus kind of going at a one screen resolution, whereas the HTC is going to have two screens, one for each eye, at a higher resolution in that sense. So
Yeah, the Oculus has a 21 by 60 by 1200 screen, so it's one big screen, whereas the HTC has two of them cut in half.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same pixel density, but it's going to be two separate screens.
But that'll allow the developers to do a lot more with it. So.
Yes, but I believe Oculus is going to do something similar eventually. At least split the screen in half, because recently they have come out with a thing where there's something in computers called SLI or Crossfire, which is where you use more than one video card at once.
yeah.
They came out with a new way where they're going to have one of your video cards render the right eye while the other one renders the left eye, which is pretty big because up until now... it was
And
just
essentially
kinda-
doing the same kind of thing.
Yes.
Now, the one thing I would always say is anytime you're going to be pioneering technology, unfortunately, you're going to have that disadvantage, and now the other people are going to look at what you're
Like,
doing.
oh wait,
Yes.
that was the one. That was what
Yeah,
we
and then
needed
okay,
to
let's
do.
improve or like just add more features to it, right? So at this point, I'm kind of looking at this. And I'm like, you know what? This gives some third party an opportunity to come in and be that low level version.
Mad Cats, the VR.
Exactly. But you know what? With what's involved in technology, that's not going to be too hard for someone to do.
No,
So
it's
it can
true.
be done.
It could. Mad Cats could very well come in and do something like that. Right now, I'm thinking the far superior of the two being the HTC, and the reason why I'm thinking that is having two separate eyes is going to give you more depth perception that you wouldn't get on a single screen. That being said, it does sound like we are going to get a dual screen at some point.
Well, let's do a quick apples to apples comparison here, just spec wise for anyone who understands this. They're both 90 hertz displays, which means they're both going to push 90 frames per second, which is good. But when you're going in VR, especially with something like Oculus Rift, you're kind of aiming for 120 or more frames per second, or else you're going to start getting motion sickness, all types of weird things.
Blurriness and stuff like that.
Yeah, the blurriness is...
So 90 hertz is pretty good. I would be incredibly pissed if it was 60 hertz, because that would just not work at all. They haven't released that much about the Vive yet. They don't know what kind of computer you're going to need to power it, at least not that I've seen. The requirements for the Oculus Rift are a little bit steep. Like, they're saying the requirements are a GTX 970, which $800.
Yeah, I was about to say 900.
Just for the video card. And that's only taking in, I would say, very, very low games. You're not going to be playing Battlefield in virtual reality with a 970. You're going to need 2 or 3 of them.
Jeez.
So
we're looking at the $600 investment being more like a $2,000 investment.
That's why I'm not that mad about the $800 Oculus price point, because anyone who's going to build a $2,000 or $3,000 PC, $800 to set aside for an Oculus, or $600 for an Oculus, like, that's fine.
Don't some guys spend multiple screen setups?
Yeah.
As it is, yeah.
And also, I guess since you're the tech dude, would it be better technically for the one processor to have 2 separate screens instead of having one processor for each screen? Where's the advantage of that?
It would be best to have 2 processors for 2 screens, but
because that way they can technically do more.
I think at that point,
stress on it.
Yeah, you're going to be putting stress on it. You're going to be losing frame rate, I think, at a certain point.
I don't know how they're going to be doing it yet, but I know you can run 2 screens off one GPU.
So basically, one VR porn in one eye, one VR porn in the other eye.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, so I can watch Asians on my left.
Yes.
If I take a right, guess what? Big booties all the way.
Right.
That's why I have 2 monitors.
That brings up to a good point. VR porn. Let's.
Oh man,
it's going to be huge. Yeah. Virtual. What were you saying? Virtual blowjobs or blowjob bots?
Yeah.
No, have you guys actually heard of this? The Virtual Dolls controller.
Oh yeah.
The
we've heard of this.
Yeah, did we talk about that last time?
I think we might have.
Yeah.
I that's gonna get bought up by something like Flashlight or something.
Oh, guaranteed. Yeah. And I
all the power to them.
Yeah, no, sure.
Whatever you're doing in your locked room,
you need to get yourself off. You need to do it.
You're not hurting a single damn person.
Hurting anyone.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Have your fun. I'd rather you do that. Let's face it. It's better for that.
Back to the Vive in the Oculus.
I don't know. I kind of like where that direction is going a little bit.
The tracking on the Oculus is only 5 by 11, where the tracking on the Vive they're saying is 15 by 15 feet.
Okay, so can you
feet.
describe what you mean by the tracking on it? Like I'm not understanding.
The amount of how much you're going to be able to move around.
Oh,
on
okay,
the
all right.
Oculus, you're going to have a 5 foot by 11 foot. On the Vive, you're going to have 15 foot by 15. So
and I guess for anyone who
more space to move around,
Oculus, they need to kind of understand that when you have this thing on, you can actually kind of look around in your environment.
Definitely.
Because maybe that's kind of what we're talking about.
The other cool thing, well, it's about moving around.
Yeah.
As well.
See, my question with that is, do you remember when the Wii came out and everybody just punched their TVs?
Yeah.
And everybody fucking slammed into everything.
Oh,
Look it up on
yeah,
YouTube.
their remotes
It's
around.
fucking hilarious. Okay, now cover your eyes and do that.
Well, and that's the thing. That is a bit of a concern that some of the hardware developers have already kind of addressed. Because with the whole Samsung thing, it has
That's why they're putting cameras
on the outside. So
the Vive has a camera,
it's gonna have
but
a
the
sensor.
Oculus doesn't have one yet.
See, and that I think is a good selling feature on it, is that it has this thing that can track what's around you.
Not only can you do augmented reality with that,
Yeah.
but then you can avoid stepping on your cat while you're playing games.
Also, if the fact is you need to...
Unless the game is step on your cat.
Yeah.
Unless that, of course. But the also thing where it's you say you're in your room and you need to I need to quickly just check something. It has a button on it where it just switches to the camera.
Yeah.
Quickly check, go back to game.
Yeah, it's going to have a good switch. It has its advantages. I think it would be really weird to look at your environment through a camera and a TV. You know what I mean?
Too, yeah.
Well, that's augmented reality right there. That's
guess it
the
is.
HoloLens. That's what they're doing.
It does make
The
sense.
thing about the HoloLens is when they viewed it at the demo, it was a guy wearing goggles, and he was dragging shit around the room, and he's like, oh, I'm going to throw this video up on this screen, so or on this wall. So he had a video on the whole wall, and it was entirely deceiving, because that's not what it's like at all. It's like looking through reversed binoculars.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have massive black boxes, and then you see the screen in front of you.
See, yeah, that does seem a little
Well,
different.
but that's the kind of disadvantage, and maybe the disconnect between actual hardware and the marketing, where you can't really show that until you physically put it on, right?
But it is a little bit more blowing it out of what proportion.
Yeah.
I think right now we're about 10 years away from this being good. We're gonna have
of course,
about
anything.
Less than that.
You think I really to have it like perfected?
Not perfected, but have you seen the Magic Leap?
No, I haven't seen the Magic
The
Leap.
Magic Leap.
Oh, it's that new one they just kind of debuted, right?
Yes. No one knows a lot about it, but they've seen the patents for it.
Oh,
and
this
we've
is the
seen
one
a
you were talking
couple
about with the
demos.
patent.
Yeah.
that
Solar
nobody
system,
can figure
the thing
out.
they
Yeah.
showed the solar system in your room.
There was a solar system, a woman control. There was another demo where it was a bunch of kids like in an auditorium, and a whale came and like splashed onto the kids.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And they're saying that they're doing this they're not filming it through the leap motion. They're filming this in real time with another camera.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Attached to the technology or whatever they want.
No, that's the thing.
Really?
Yeah, they're doing it.
Oh, then how?
The big thing about this is it has depth to it, which
Well, that's the big thing is
everything else
nobody
doesn't.
can nail depth, right? Like,
these guys have it. That's what they're saying. They have nailed depth.
Hmm.
But then Apple also has a patent on one. Like everyone has a patent for VR now.
well, yeah, it's the next
Facebook
thing, right?
is going to have one. They're seriously talking about having a social network VR.
Here's the thing, though, dude. You say it's the next thing. The fact is, they've been trying to nail this for like 30, 40 years.
No, I know it's been going on for a long fucking time.
Second Life.
Oh, it's yeah, it's honestly this has been going for on a long time, but we are right around the corner.
Exactly.
When I say next thing, I mean that like we're right around the corner from it.
Yeah.
It's just who's gonna lead.
See, but I guess
That's
now
the question, right?
We have the
Who's got
advantage
got it?
I guess like 20 years ago, it was all these main companies making this stuff, right? Yeah. Now there's the advantage where it's open source. Anyone with a computer who can code shit can essentially start working on
Oculus
this stuff.
started as a Kickstarter.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
when you really think about what Kickstarter's done for some companies, like Oculus, got like fucking. If it weren't for them, they would be nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
It was them that I don't think anybody had a belief in the product at the beginning
There's
of it.
very
It took a long
few
time.
good Kickstarters, but the ones that are good end up being amazing.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And then there's millions of garbage ones, like the Scarp Laser.
Or the guy with the Star Wars RPG. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
I've seen so many.
That Star Wars RPG is fucking hilarious. Like,
I've never
it's like
made
I've
a
got
game
this
in my
idea.
life.
I've never made a game, but I'm gonna make this gigantic
Yep.
fucking world that you can explore and just give me lots of money,
Yeah.
and I'll do this. And like, all right, fucking do that on the thing that you don't have a
Yeah.
promise. You just do whatever the fuck.
Yeah, so I guess going back to the VR stuff. So again, we're gonna have that advantage where maybe at first there'll be no real need to have this thing, but once that guy either makes a game, makes an app that's like, whoa, holy shit, now you need this thing.
So,
But I
People
even
are
think
looking
Pokemon Go. Imagine
Yeah,
Pokemon
yeah.
Go
Yeah.
through a VR headset. That fucking
there.
Yeah, it's right there.
That's the future.
it definitely has that.
It'll
And
scan the stool that's right in front of us and put the Pokemon right on the
there.
stool.
Like it could be hidden in your house somewhere.
Yep.
Which is really going to be a game changer, just in general. I mean that in a literal sense too. It'll be a game changer.
Exactly.
That also brings on to the point that we had an original announcement for PlayStation VR, is what they're going by the name. It's no longer Morpheus. It was supposed to come out of the first quarter of this year, and it got pushed back to up to the fall. I don't think it's the last time we're going to see a pushback on this either.
No, definitely
I think it's going to happen again, and the reason why is that I don't think that they have the technology needed to be able to play it.
That's what I've been saying for months. They're rendering at 720p at 30 frames per second. 45 maybe, sorry, who cares? Like, it's not anywhere near the 120 you need to play virtual reality.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing, though, we have to realize about Sony is the fact that they like to rush things to market.
They do.
They want to be the first ones with that product on the shelves. I mean, look at the Vita. As soon as they heard the 3DS was a huge thing, hey, let's throw that Vita on there.
Let's get the Vita out,
There's
right?
no reason for us to do it, and now they've kind of give up on it. I'm a little worried that the Project Morpheus, the PlayStation VR now, when they announce the Q1 2016 date, it's probably to like just be that guy.
We're gonna get
out
it.
there.
Yeah.
Now that they've seen the other guys, are like, hey, we
maybe
need more
we'll wait a
time.
little bit.
Shit, okay, guys, scale that back because we're really not fucking ready for this.
Yeah, this is not
I'm feeling that's really what it is.
I still see it coming out as the starter to VR. It's going to be what most people pick up first.
Because it's going to be the cheapest.
Cheap and readily available.
I think
a lot of people have PS4.
They're saying price point, expect a copy of the...
around the same price point as the console.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was putting that upside down.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, let me just make a quick check. Sorry, guys.
No, just in case.
Yeah, we're at 103, which is good. So I'm just going to do a stop and we'll go right back in, okay? Okay, so we just kind of talked about PlayStation VR being on the horizon and also kind of sitting on the fact that maybe it may not be coming out in this next year period, just due to the fact that there is the technology for PlayStation just isn't there.
There's a lot of technical limitations here.
Yeah.
Okay, say they announce this, it's going to be a November release. Are either of you getting it? I'm not.
Well, hell no. I wasn't going to get it at all.
I'm going to get it.
I would consider getting it, just not off launch. I don't want to be that guinea pig for them to be like, hey, you bought this. Tell us how it is.
I'm like that with most things. I don't buy anything on launch.
Yeah, see, I'm probably going to end up buying this thing on launch. I am a launch person for a lot of things.
Have you seen the Leap Motion controller with Oculus Rift? That video I showed you.
Oh, yeah.
The Leap Motion was a controller that I was interested in, like, before the VR boom. It's kind of like a motion tracking thing to control your computer where you can control it with your hands.
Yeah.
But now they have that in virtual reality, and the demo shows a guy...
Kind of the Minority Report thing where the guy's like manipulating
There's
shit.
a game where this guy's picking up boxes.
Oh, cool.
And it's really cool. I think that is going to be pretty big.
Almost like the
pretty
Power
interesting.
Glove, like 2.0, like really high tech.
Oh, yeah, baby.
But hey, just watch. Once that comes out, there's going to be guys modding this shit with
The Power Gloves.
man.
Like, play your VR with Power Glove.
I've seen
It's
people
really
make vapes out
bad.
of those Power Gloves.
Oh, Jesus.
Crazy shit out of this, actually. Some guy made some weird 3D track thing with that.
Oh, really?
And the Wii sensor bar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with that, he did it out of all that technology.
Yeah.
See, like, normally I don't like cannibalizing old things, but these fucking Power Gloves are pieces of shit. Fucking have at her. I'm sorry.
The technology behind them is pretty cool. The membranes, how they actually send signals.
Yeah, and they're actually very high tech for what they are, but it's a watered down high tech.
Absolutely.
Because basically, there's a whole video on a basic gaming historian. Check it out. You guys might like it.
I love a gaming historian.
Yeah, but basically the guy explains
I've seen him,
how it was like super high tech before it became the Power Glove. Then they were like, okay, let's water it down, make it cheaper,
it became
cheaper till it's a 12.
Yeah, the original plan on it was actually a very good system.
Back in the early 80s, so it's like crazy.
Yeah,
high tech
Nintendo signed on, but they wanted it to be affordable for the everyday person. Yeah. So that's why they changed it, and then just advertised the shit out of it on Wizard.
And I guarantee that's probably what this was. A Leap Motion. What's it called?
Which one?
Leap Technology, the
controller.
Oh,
Leap
controller,
Motion.
Yeah, Leap Motion. So that's probably what this controller thing is probably essentially. But I mean, now that it's so cheap and it's starting again accessible, so there will be that point where mixing
that thing was
VR.
$100 when I looked at it last.
Oh,
and that
seriously?
was like over a year ago.
Oh shit!
So it's only going to go down in price.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
there was
how it
demos
works.
of people playing Counter-Strike with it, like just by shooting his gun.
That's fucked up.
Which it was probably laggy as fuck. The controllers with the Oculus 5 though, that's gonna be, or with the Oculus Rift, that's gonna be the next.
You know, I could even think of an easier demo that'll wow people. Tetris. Just like you can grab the block, you can twist it,
move it,
you
and
can put it where
down.
you want to.
That would be pretty fucking sweet.
People would freak out over that.
I would love that shit. I love Tetris. Tetris is a great fucking game.
But again, make it very simple. Just draw people in, and again, you put that in there, everyone will fucking.
All right, so we have about 2 sections left that we have to go here. One, I'm going to have Aaron kind of take the lead on, so you can kind of go off on this one. But right now, Apple's in a bit of shit.
Yep.
Well, I don't know how much Apple's in shit. It sounds like, from what I've been reading, Apple doesn't want this to happen.
No, people are standing behind Apple pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a lot of Apple news recently. First, I want to talk about the couple bugs because I find them hilarious.
I liked your posting on that, too. It's like, hey, don't listen to memes.
Yeah. There's a current bug going around where if you set your time or date back to any time before January 1st, 1970, on a 64-bit iPhone, it'll completely brick your device, and there's no way of getting it back.
I've heard unless the battery dies. Like, if the battery has to die on its own, you cannot reset it, do anything once you've done that.
I haven't seen proof of that. But
really?
I thought that, I haven't heard anything for getting it fixed.
And this is coming right after the week of the infamous Error 53. which was if you got your Touch ID sensor taken out and replaced because it was broken by anyone other than an authorized Apple reseller, completely bricks your phone again. Now, they have released a patch for that one, which is great for anyone who has like 100 of them sitting at home.
Well, yeah.
But and it's going to repair it, but it doesn't actually enable access to your Touch ID again.
So you basically you're without that technology on your phone.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
That's all.
They're saying it's a security reason. I sort of buy it because someone can intercept that, but not really.
Oh yeah.
The other error though is so interesting because it's caused by an underflow integer caused by the Linux epoch, which is fancy terms for saying you can't count lower than 0000 in binary.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's a lot like Y2K. The way time works on computers is there's a start point, which is 0000, January 1st, 1970, at 0 o'clock. That is Universal Central Time. That is when the time for computers starts. It counts up every second until then.
This allows us to tell, like, have time right now.
The most accurate time on computers.
As it is.
That's how we do it. So if you change that and go back, it's basically Y2K, and your iPhone doesn't know what to do.
And it just gets all fucky because of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, somebody was bound to find the bricking thing on this, and that sounds like that's the big one.
It's existed in the Unix operating system, which Apple is built on. It's existed in that operating system for years.
So how is it just surfacing now?
There are people who... They're security testers, and what they do is they basically just try and fuck with things in any way they can.
Yeah, okay.
They'll use old exploits, any kind of exploit, because if you find a really good exploit, Apple will pay you for that, or anyone. They will pay you.
Let's put it this way. There are some hackers who, as a resume, hack into like the CIA database, right?
Called white hat hackers.
Yeah. Yeah, so they'll do that, get hacked in, the cops will realize what the hell happened, then realize, hey, come work for us and show us what you did.
Yeah.
A lot of that shit happens a lot, so.
Yeah, you just get put on. Like, some of our biggest hackers that have had that happen to them, they just get the job with them. It's like, go to jail or take the job. Take a choice.
Now, what's happened with the Apple and the FBI right now is the FBI has gotten a court order from a court in California for Apple to build a backdoor into a certain iPhone. This iPhone belonged to the San Bernardino shooter who killed, I believe, 16 people. I should probably look that up. But they have that in their custody at the FBI headquarters, and they want Apple to build them something that will let them do unlimited password attempts to get into their phone.
See, I thought, from what my understanding was, is that the government was trying to say that what we're going to do is be able to get into the phone one time and one time only.
Yes.
And then that's it. You'll never be allowed to get in again. But Apple's like, that's impossible.
That's where it gets complicated. The government's saying we want a one-time fix where we can get into this one phone once. Apple's saying it's not possible because they use end-to-end encryption, which means everything's encrypted. They don't have the keys. If your data is yours. If you lose the data, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
They have a clause in their terms of service.
It's a privacy thing.
Yeah, that say if you die, your account is terminated, and they will not hand it over to your wife or whatever. They just won't do it.
She can't look up your porn.
Yeah, exactly. That's mostly what it's for. Apple's saying they can't do it because they have end-to-end encryption, and there's a bigger problem than that. And if they do it, they are making a backdoor, which, sure, it's only for one phone, but anytime you make a backdoor, someone's gonna find it eventually.
Yeah, it's gonna get opened up to
hackers are gonna find it. China's gonna find it. Everyone's going to find it.
And let's put it this way. The FBI has their own team of hackers, and if they're going to Apple to do it, it's because they could not.
That's another part of the egregious thing, is they're not saying, hey, we're going to do it. They want Apple to send their people to spend their time to go and do it.
Yep.
So Tim Cook, the current CEO, has said, hey, this is kind of ridiculous. We don't want to do this. The head of Google and Microsoft, they've all come out and stood behind them. They're like, hey, we can't go putting backdoors.